Morning everyone, welcome to Padshaw Junction. I decided today to have a look at this Class 37 that's part of my collection. Put it on the track and it's completely dead, a non-runner, nothing at all. I did take the ring-filled motor out and cleaned it up, you know, the usual brushes, the commutator, etc. Gave it all a good clean, checked that power's getting to the motor, but sadly the motor is completely dead, so I think it's failed. So I had a look online and I found a company that does a replacement motor kit. So I'm going to have a go at fitting one of those and I'll show you that right now. This is the replacement motor kit I ordered off eBay and it comes from a supplier called Horns and Whistles Workshop. There you go, you can see all the details there. It's a replacement motor. Nice little slimline motor, and it has a 3D printed holder to replace the motor when you take the motor out, and some fitting accessories, a pinion there, some clips, a bit of heat shrink and an insulator. They do a very good video on YouTube, this company that supply this kit, showing you how to fit it, and I've watched it a few times, so I'm going to dive in and have a go and see if I can fit it and see if we can get this engine working. Okay, here we go. Right, here we go. I've taken the two motor bogies out, as you can see, and we'll do the old battery test. Nothing. Completely dead. As I say, I did clean the armature up and the brushes and everything, and I made sure the power is coming. When it's on the track, the power is getting to it. But it's just completely dead, so I think it's a dead motor. So we're going to crack on and fit this kit and hopefully bring her back to life. Okay, separated that off, and I think we've got to remove this from the frame. They say in the video it just levers out. That's looking good so far. Let's just whiz through this. That's the frame. Leaves us with the motor. They said the wheels just fall off, which they do, so you're going to make sure you get those back around the right way. Let's put them in there like that. Excellent stuff. And then this brass clip lifts off and you can take your drive gears off. These have all been off before because, as I say, I had the motor apart and had a go at you know, cleaning it up, but to no avail. And then obviously we need to take this off. Need to save this wire because we're going to need that to join the wires from the new motor on. And then this levers off like that. And from underneath there you go. Spring. I assume the spring and brushes stayed in that one. Yeah, they did. I think I've lost a brush somewhere, but I don't need it. But there you go. There's the brush. I might keep that as a spare because it could come in handy for repairing another loco, couldn't it? And then you've got to get the armature out, which means knocking this pin through. So we'll need to find a punch of some sort to knock that out. And then I do know that you can also just wiggle the ring-filled magnet out with a pair of pliers like that. In fact, I noticed this magnet, it seems very weak, to be honest. Yeah, look. So maybe it's the magnet that's failed, causing the motor not to run. So getting back on track, need to get that knocked out. I need to find something to drift that out with. So we'll come back as soon as we've found something we can do that with. Right, I had a rummage around. I couldn't find a punch that was the right size to fit the end of the armature. So when the cog was still on there, the pinion, I gave it a few taps and it started drifting it through, which left a small gap underneath. And I got a pair of side cutters. I managed to get them underneath the pinion, just wiggle it, and it came straight off. In fact, it shot across the room, so I had to go and look for it. But at the end of the day, I got the same result. So it removed the armature. Job done. Mole grips, a couple of taps with a hammer, and out it came. And a pair of side cutters just to wiggle underneath the pinion, and it came off. Right. So hopefully now we should be able to fit this kit. Here we go. That's the little motor. Very neat, inside a 3D printed holder. Now, one thing they do say to do is fit this insulator over there, so that when the motor presses against the case, gosh, it's quite tight. Well, I suppose it has to be. That's it, it's on. And one other thing was to fit this little axle shaft was sitting in there in the old plate, and you take it out and you have to fit it in this new plate, and obviously it's for the centre wheel to run on. I think it's just a push fit from what they say. Pretty tight. Yeah, there we go. I think when you push it in far enough, it clicks, and it's got a little cutout in there that holds it in to keep it in place. So far so good. And the idea is that that fits in there and locates like that. Yeah, seems good so far. And you have to push it in as hard as you can, apparently. Say give it a really good push. I'm going to push down on the bench, see what I can get in. Yeah, okay. Well, it's on. Get the wires out of the way. And I think the idea is that there's supposed to be some little clips go over these posts, but there's not much of them protruding out, in all honesty. I'm going to have a look under the magnifier. Bear with me. Okay, so one thing I've found with mine is that it's not possible to fit the clips that they supply, simply because the posts on my motor do not protrude out far enough through the frame. This might be a production difference, I guess, in between the different versions of Hornby chassis, maybe. I don't think it's the end of the world, though. I've got the pinion gear on, and it all runs, so that's okay. So I'm figuring, for the time being, I'm just going to put a daub of industrial super glue on each side of here, let it go dry and go solid, and I think that'll hold the motor in place, because once it's all locked together in the chassis, I can't see it coming apart, and it'll give it a go, see how it goes. Okay, I've let the super glue go off hard and refitted all the gears to the motor and put the clip back on in the reverse order I took them off, and just give it a little test now. Just quickly stick it on a battery and see if she runs. Yep. Success. That's great. I think I'll rebuild the rest of the bogie, put it all back together, solder the wires on, and we'll see if we have a working locomotive. Okay, next step, cut the connectors off the original wiring, and just going to give it a dab of solder, join them together, and I've already installed the heat shrink over, so I can slide that up afterwards and make sure the wires stay insulated. Okay, here we go, bear with. Nope, have to retwist that one, won't we? Hang on. Let's see if we can get this one to go this time. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Now I'll just slide the heat shrink up and probably just use like a lighter or something to make it shrink on and keep the wires nice and secure. I did think just before I heat the heat shrink up, make those wires permanent, I should just try it quickly to see if it works on a test track. Just got a little bit of track here with my controller. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. Okay. So far so good, I think. I'll carry on now, do the heat shrink and stick these back in the loco and try it on a track. Fantastic. Okay folks, so here's the end result, running on a quick test layout on the table, and yeah, really pleased with that. Seems to be running really smoothly, quietly. Yeah, it's absolutely great, so I'm really pleased with that. Get that one running, get it back in working order. Looking forward to getting some rolling stock behind it at some point and giving it a good run. I think at the moment now I'll just run it round to run that new motor in. Okay, that's all for now from Padshaw Junction. Hope to see you again soon. Take care everybody, and bye for now.